FBI has more than 11,000 agents worldwide. They are the elite of law enforcement, and becoming an agent is a daunting challenge. To earn the right to wear the badge of a special agent, you must first come here to the FBI Academy in Quantico, Virginia, for a 16-week intensive training course. I went behind closed doors of this closely guarded facility, which looks exactly like what it is, a college for crime fighters. Spread out over 650 wooded acres on a U.S. Marine Corps base less than 50 miles from FBI headquarters are classrooms, dormitories, gyms, shooting ranges, driving tracks, and even a miniature Main Street. The Academy is the door every would-be agent must go through. And according to Section Chief Joan Lunden, they're very particular about who gets in that door.
Tell us how tough it is to get into the FBI Academy.
At any one time, we have over 100,000 applications on file. Right now, we're closer to 110,000. We take about, since 1994, we've taken 4%.
The requirements are strict. You must be a U.S. citizen between 23 and 37, with a college degree and no criminal record. You must be drug-free, physically fit, pass a number of written exams, and a lie detector test. Police experience may help, but it's not necessary.
Having the law enforcement background, is that an advantage coming in here?
It can be an advantage. Likewise, being an attorney can be an advantage, or being an accountant can be an advantage. A business person can have an advantage.
We weren't allowed to interview current trainees, but we did talk to a number of Academy graduates, and their backgrounds were amazingly diverse.
I have an undergraduate in fashion merchandising.
I started out as a Marine Corps officer.
I worked for several years as a newspaper reporter.
At any given time, up to 400 men and women are going through the grueling training program at Quantico. About 5% of those here will drop out or wash out along the way. It costs the FBI about $30,000 to train each new agent. While they're here, trainees are sequestered at the Academy. They share dorm rooms and everyone wears the same standard uniform, khakis and a polo shirt. The idea is to bond these diverse recruits into one mindset. In class, they study everything from law and ethics to computer science. But first and foremost, they're trained to investigate.
Just find out who, what, when, where, and why.
So great emphasis is placed on interviewing techniques.
Tell me from the beginning what it was you saw.
I saw him bump into a couple of women that were walking down the street the opposite way.
We get the information we get because we get people to talk to us. I had a hard time at first differentiating between an interrogation and an interview. I sort of approached things from more an interrogation aspect, even when speaking with people who were witnesses or victims to a crime. And obviously, that's not the right approach to take.
Have them turn around. Turn around.
Much of the training here is obviously hands-on, like learning how to make an arrest. The point in an arrest isn't just to subdue a suspect, but to ensure your own safety while you're doing it. Trainees practice the drill over and over, so when confronting a dangerous suspect, the procedure will be second nature. After watching it for a while, it was my turn to try.
So first thing you want to do is you identified your subject.
Okay.
Draw your weapon. FBI, don't move.
FBI, don't move. Put your hands up over your head, slowly.
Kind of at a 45-degree angle to him. Okay, now we'll tell him to slowly turn around. You want to keep inspecting any area that might be able to hurt you.
Slowly turn around. Keep going.
Okay, now stop.
All right, stop. Okay, put your hands behind your back. Thumbs up. Put your thumbs up.
Let's walk into our subject.
Okay.
Okay, now you want to tell him, bring your hands away from your body slightly.
Bring your hands away from your body slightly.
Pop it on. Once it's already there, place the cuffs on right there.
Okay.
Feel pretty comfortable?
Yep.
Push down on that chain and exert control.
All right.
And that was a successful handcuffing.
All right.
be nicer. I'm leaving you in these all day.
Because agents spend a great deal of time in their cars working cases, they must perfect another set of skills behind the wheel. This is TVOC, the Tactical Emergency Vehicle Operations Center, and the idea isn't just to prepare for high-speed chases.
The emergency vehicle training took you through just about any type of unexpected driving situation that you could have.
Hey, Joan, how are you?
I heard you had a pretty funny-looking car out here.
Yes, welcome to the FBI Academy skid cars. You see these freewheeling dolly wheels.
They look like training wheels.
They are kind of looking like training wheels, and some people think that they prevent the car from flipping over in high-speed training. Actually, this is a low-speed skid exercise, and the car is actually going to be lifted up off of the ground and riding on these freewheeling dolly wheels,
All
both
right.
rear and front end.
So shall we take her for a spin?
Let's do it.
Okay.
The FBI gave me the chance to get an inside view of this important part of an agent's training.
What have you got there?
These are the controls for the skid car.
Okay.
The instructor controls the skidding with a remote control box and makes it progressively harder as you drive.
So you can mess with me on this little trip around
Mess
the
with
track.
you, yes.
Okay. I'd been through high-speed training before, but that was much more defensive in nature. Here, they learn how to drive offensively.
Oh, nice save.
The first lesson is to turn into the skid. That rights the car and gives you steering control.
Okay, I didn't do so good on that one.
The hardest thing to overcome is your impulse to jam on the brakes when things go wrong. That just increases the skid and decreases your ability to steer out of it. Remember, I was on a closed course with orange cones, but agents might have to do these maneuvers on crowded streets with lives at risk.
Oh, I see. The trick partly is to catch up before it gets too bad, right?
Absolutely. Using your gas pedal to move some weight to the rear of the car, which is actually what you want to do.
Oh.
The most crucial lesson I came away with was how important it is to stay in control, which is really the underpinning of an agent's entire training.
Oh, I see.
That felt good.
Whoa. Okay.
Losing control of any situation, even for a moment, can mean the difference between an arrest and an escape, or even between life and death. The public's image of the FBI invariably revolves around guns. But in fact, agents didn't even begin carrying firearms until the 30s, when the bad guys became so heavily armed, they had nicknames like Machine Gun Kelly. But once the Bureau took up weapons, they took them up in a big way. Today, a gun is as much a part of an agent's day-to-day equipment as a badge. New agents are issued one gun for their entire career, a .40 caliber Glock semi-automatic pistol, which holds 15 rounds of ammunition. If a gun ever needs to be repaired, there is only one place the work can be done. It must be sent to the Bureau's weapons management facility right here at the Academy. In the meantime, agents are issued a temporary replacement from their field office gun vault. Mastering the use of firearms is a major part of the coursework at the Academy. But some of the new trainees have never even held a gun.
When I first picked up a 9mm at the Academy, I remember it feeling very alien in my hands, as if it would spring to life on its own. And I remember a firearms instructor telling us, especially those of us who hadn't shot a weapon before, this is just a tool, and you'll learn to regard it as just a tool, and you'll learn when to use it.
Although I've fired weapons on traditional firing ranges while covering other stories, this facility is unique with an advanced computer tracking system.
Gary Hutchison.
All right, Gary, what are we going to do here?
The first and maybe the most important thing they teach sounds sort of silly, how to pull the trigger. But applying just the right amount of steady pressure keeps the gun from jerking and throwing off your shot. And on this system, you can actually get a visual image of how you pull that trigger.
Evenly, gently. That's it. That's great.
It was time to try it for real. I put on magnifying goggles that not only enlarge the view of the target, but feed the image you see to the computer. The instructor evaluates not just your accuracy, but the mechanics of your shooting.
Make sure that the top of the front sight is even with the top of the rear sight. Ride with the recoil. That's it. Don't fight the recoil. Let your body move with it. That's it. Continue to press. Never stop. There we go. Little recoil. Smooth, steady pressure. Smooth, steady. Very good.
The computer tracked every shot and gave me an immediate readout of my performance.
Yeah. Every time you flinch, to some degree, it's going to go this way because you're right-handed. And to one degree, it went way down here. This, a little lesser, but still a little flinch.
You get
Then
impatient.
you lunge at it and snap the trigger all at one time.
I know exactly when those two shots were.
My aim was good, but it turns out
Behind Closed Doors with Joan Lunden continues here on A&E.
Trainees at the FBI's academy spend more than 100 hours on the ranges. But there's more to firearms training than shooting straight. All the marksmanship in the world won't help if you don't know when to shoot and when not to. To help make that point, instructors behind these closed doors use what's known as FATS, a firearms training system that's computerized and completely interactive.
It's as close as we can get to actually simulating some stress conditions of a gunfight, and you have to interact with this system. You have to say, get down, FBI, or you may have to warn some people to get out of the way. When you're done, after you go through a scenario, your blood pressure will probably be up, your pulse will be up, and you'll actually be sweating a little bit.
With guns that shoot infrared pulses at a video screen, it sounded a little like a computer game. How hard could it be? I'd already done well at the shooting range.
Okay.
In this scenario, you and your partner's a male, you're going to a warehouse to arrest a female for fraud.
Okay.
All she's done is committed some fraud.
Okay.
And we don't know if she's armed, but you can assume that she's dangerous because most of the people that we deal with are.
Okay.
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go. This is your partner moving off to the right.
Tina Snyder? Tina Snyder?
What?
You Tina Snyder?
Yes, what?
FBI, you're under arrest for fraud. Step away. Step back, put your hands over your head.
We're at the FBI.
Step back, put your hands over your
Hands
your
up.
head.
I haven't done anything.
I want you to go down on your knees.
I can't.
I want you to go down
I
on your...
can't. My knees hurt.
Okay, stay right there. I want you to take your left hand, put it behind your back, thumb up.
Man, I haven't done anything.
FBI.
Okay.
I only had one.
The computer deactivated your weapon because she knocked you down and took your gun from you. You are now dead. Happened pretty quick,
Okay.
didn't it?
Yes, that happened really quick.
It was sobering to see firsthand how even a moment's hesitation can bring on disaster. The second scenario with two suspects would be even more challenging.
There you go.
You are about to enter this house on reliable informant information that this is the home of the two subjects who were identified as having robbed a bank earlier today where
That's
weapons
your team
were
going to
used.
the front door?
Perimeter agents are in place.
FBI, stand up and get your hands up.
Okay.
Do it now.
Don't shoot, man.
Bill, you're going to the bank and help Dave.
What are you doing?
Rosie.
Take the money.
Turn off that damn music.
What is it you want?
What the hell are you
What?
doing here?
Shut up. What the hell do you want, man? What are you doing to my house? You're in the wrong house, buddy. You're in big trouble, asshole.
You, shut up. Take 2 steps
FBI.
back. Do it now. Get your hands up. You, shut up. Don't move. You're both under arrest.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
He said I give up before I shot him.
Yeah, why'd you shoot him?
Well, because they looked like they would definitely do anything they could to overtake us.
They? Well, she pulled a gun. Where'd she get
pulled
the
a
gun
gun.
from?
Did it come out of his back pocket or the desk?
Her hands kind of moved a little bit down.
So she took his
She
gun, and
took
that
his
means
gun.
he was saying, I surrender, because he knew he didn't have a firearm.
Did you go back and forth? Did you kind of look at him?
No,
then look at
I
her?
was on the female, and when she pulled the gun, that's why I got her. She's down.
Right.
But then I automatically went over here, because I figured, okay, now he's the threat. Was he the threat if he didn't have a gun?
Now, let's take a look and watch her hand.
Yeah,
Watch her hand
okay.
disappear.
Shut up.
Now, when that hand
Whoa,
starts...
she just looked at the back of his pants,
Yeah.
didn't she?
Now, FBI, get your hands out where I can see it. Move back now.
Got it. Wow.
Good shot.
All right, I got her.
Excellent shooting. You're working her over really
Yeah.
good. That's good shooting. And there's a shot through the table into her midsection.
I got 4 shots into her.
Yeah, and you got 1 into him.
Yeah.
And
well, I probably just wounded him. I don't think I killed him. I know that's not acceptable, but those are really hard scenarios.
they are. And the new agents, if they don't do well in FATS and make the correct decisions, they don't leave here.
You see how fluid situations are, how everything isn't really black and white, and everything they taught you in the classroom, while a good basis, you sort of have to use your own judgment, and you have to think, on your own and think quickly on your feet.
A video screen is one thing, the real world's another. So the instructors here came up with a way to create scenarios that have a 3-dimensional, real-life quality.
This is Hogan's Alley, a small town that proudly boasts the highest crime rate in the nation. It's actually the FBI's version of a Hollywood back lot, where the pawn shop fronts as a casino and the bank could be robbed on a daily basis.
The various buildings, built at a cost of $5 million, include a post office, a pharmacy, a bar, a pool hall, and a laundry. For trivia buffs, the movie theater is the Biograph, the name of the Chicago theater where gangster John Dillinger was gunned down by FBI agents in 1934.
He hangs out in the pool hall.
Unit Chief Kate Killam gave me a walking tour of Hogan's Alley.
So this is like a town where they can confront criminals before they get out in the streets?
It's a town where they can plan an arrest and effect that arrest safely so that citizens aren't endangered.
But who plays the bad guys?
We have role players that are our bad guys.
I am not the guy you're looking for. My name is Sam, okay?
Each trainee receives about 200 hours of training at Hogan's Alley under the most realistic conditions.
So all of the scenarios are set up so that they get the feel of what it's going to be like out in the streets?
We've heard from many of our former students that during their first arrest, they called back on their Hogan's Alley experience to safely get through the situation at hand.
Those who survive the 16 intense weeks of training earn their badge, credentials, and the title Special Agent.
When I got the badge in my hand, it was incredible. It's like I didn't want to put it down. It really means something that you have to live up to. And the public expects something as well as your peers.
These graduates will be assigned to one of 56 field offices across the country. Starting pay, $60,000.